All right, good evening, everyone. This is Dacian Smith with Fox 10 News. We're out here at Ladd-Peebles Stadium. It was near the end of the Viger-Williamson game where shots were fired here. We're hearing now that at least 4 people were shot and transported to the hospital. I've seen 2 of them taken off on stretchers so far since I've been here. Actually make that 3. One of them just got put in an ambulance not too long ago. But we've heard that it's been 4 people shot inside the stadium. Again, near the end of the Viger-Williamson game. There was about 5 minutes left in the game when all of this happened. I was on the field in one of the end zones. An interception had just happened, and then immediately when the play was blown dead, a bunch of fans from the home side started rushing the field. Everybody was confused at first. Not everybody heard the shots. I did not hear the shots when they first happened, but a lot of people started coming out of the home stands and rushing onto the field. Coaches from both sidelines were waving at their players to get to the other side of the field, hurry up, come over to the other side of the field, while police ran towards the concourse to see what was going on. Teams immediately ran to the other side of the field, laid down in the end zone, laid down on the other sideline, and were told to just stay in place, stay down on the ground until they heard word from Mobile police about what was going on. A bunch of fans had rushed the field, and a bunch of them started making their way out of the stadium. I heard a few of them say someone just got shot, someone got shot in the leg. A bunch of people started calling out for their friends or relatives that they might not have been sitting immediately nearby when all of this happened. But a lot of people just really taking shelter inside the stadium. A few of them started making their way out of the gate, out to the parking lot, trying to make it to their car. A lot of them just kind of looking over their shoulder, seeing what was happening, seeing if the situation was under control. But MPD right on it. They immediately went into the stands, went through one of the tunnels onto the concourse to see what was going on. And then fire and EMS weren't that far behind. They immediately started walking onto the concourse with stretchers, trying to help everybody that was inside that was affected. I walked out of the stadium maybe about 15 minutes ago. Some of the bands, the cheerleaders, they were starting to make their way out. I saw a couple of the football teams start to get up, start to grab their stuff and walk towards the locker room so they could get out. Since then, again, this happened maybe about 15 or 20 minutes ago. Since then, a lot of people have made their way to their cars, started checking on their people. Security was out by the gates and kept telling everybody, hey, it's not safe right now. Find the people that you came here with. Go get your family, go get your friends. If you don't have them with you, make sure you have everybody that you came to the game with. And please get to your cars as soon as possible and leave the stadium. Since then, again, more police have arrived. They've started walking into the stadium, walking up and down the ramps here. We're out near the front. They've started walking up and down the ramps. I'm seeing 2 of them actually now with flashlights, just kind of looking around for any shell casings, any evidence. I hear a couple of people walking through the stands right now that may be the last of the fans trying to get out. Again, a lot of them did take shelter at first, kind of staying in place until they knew for sure that it was safe to start walking around the stadium and making their way to the parking lot. A lot of people we ran into. I'm out here with Fox 10 reporter Stephen Moody. A lot of people we ran into, we talked to them, said, hey, is everyone okay? They said everyone in their group was fine. A couple other people told us, I'm just waiting to get my son, I'm just waiting to get my daughter. And a lot of people just talking to the police, making sure, hey, are my members, are my friends, are they okay? Fortunately, again, everyone that we talked to said that their people were fine. They've since met up with the people that they were looking for, gotten in their cars, seen a lot of cars leave the parking lot right now. Of course, we still have some people around, but definitely not as many as it was roughly 15, 20 minutes ago. The parking lot has thinned out a lot since. Again, more Mobile police officers arriving, kind of taking a look, kind of helping people, make their way to the parking lot. The last of the fans making their way to the parking lot. I see a couple of football players from Viger walking out of the stadium towards a bus near that front gate. So it looks like the last of the Viger football team is about to leave the stadium right now. Things have calmed down a lot since the shots first rang out. But again, people just starting to look around, MPD starting to look around. I see 2 officers and a detective coming back down from the concourse rather. They're making their way back down the ramp. See some more Viger football players starting to come out of the locker room, starting to meet up with their family members, meet up with their friends, just reassuring everybody that they're okay before they jump on the bus and start to head out of here. Yep, here comes the rest of the Viger football team out from the locker room. Again, there you see Mobile Police looking at the ramp, heading up to the West Concourse here near the front of the stadium. A couple more officers walking up to help them with this investigation. The last few families look like they're getting out of here, just making sure they found, especially the younger children. There were a lot of young children here. Some of them near the field kind of playing around near the end of the football game. So definitely making sure they're okay. Most of the ambulances have left. There is one still here just in case it's necessary, but we haven't seen anyone else come down on a stretcher in the last several minutes. Just more Mobile police officers kind of going in and out of the stadium, checking for shell casings, any evidence, anything like that. It looks like that last ambulance is about to leave right now. They're jumping over and trying to circle around so that they can get out of the gate. There you see that. Again, there you see that last ambulance leaving. If you look over to the right, you'll see those school buses there. Those are the buses that Viger's football team is continuing to board. I see the football team looks like maybe a couple of coaches out there just still trying to make sure everybody's getting out. Again, when this first happened, I was on Viger's sideline. They immediately, when everybody started kind of rushing the field, they immediately looked at the players, said, hey, get over to the other sideline, get down, start covering your heads, just stay in place until you hear from police officers that it is safe to get up and start moving around again. And they did. They laid on the ground, them and the Williamson football team laid on the ground for several minutes while the fans kind of just made their way around the stadium trying to find an exit. A couple people ran past me just saying somebody got shot. I can't believe this happened. A couple other people ran past me saying, where's my brother, where's my daughter, where's my son, things of that nature. But again, since myself and Stephen Moody have been out here, we've come across a couple people once we made our way out of the stadium. We asked them, are they okay? You see another detective pulling up to the front. The people we ran into, we asked them, are you okay? Is your family okay? They said yes. They said yes, we're fine. We're just waiting on one more person. And then they immediately, once that person came out of the stadium, they immediately went back out to the parking lot, got in their cars, and left. If you take a look at the parking lot out here, earlier when this game, it is homecoming for Viger, so this stadium was packed. The parking lot was packed since everything happened roughly about 25-30 minutes ago. The crowd has thinned out a lot. Again, those who heard the shots, those on Viger sideline, they immediately came out of the stadium. Some of them came on the field, rushed towards MPD, rushed towards the gates. We're just trying to find the nearest gate that they could get out of to get to their cars and leave the stadium as soon as possible. Security here was very helpful out by the gates. They were telling everybody, hey, come this way, come this way, come this way. Find everybody that you came here to the game with. Is this your whole group? If so, please get in your cars, leave. It's not safe. Be careful heading out, but please just immediately go find the people that you came here with and get out of the stadium. A lot of people definitely taking that warning. Within minutes, I saw a bunch of cars head straight for gate 3 out towards the stadium so that they could head towards Virginia and Houston Street. So the crowd definitely thinning out a lot. Administrators, coaches, band directors, everybody taking care of their students, taking care of their fans on their sidelines, telling everybody, hey, either go this way or stay in place, shelter, get on the ground, stay low. Just making sure that everybody was okay while MPD ran towards the concourse. to see what was going on. Again, we're hearing that at least 4 people have been shot here at Ladd-Peebles Stadium near the end of the Viger-Williamson game. Within minutes, EMS arrived on scene immediately. I saw stretchers going up the ramp to the concourse helping people. Since then, those ambulances have left. Those people have been transported to the hospital. We do not know their condition at this moment, but we do know that they have since been taken to the hospital. MPD continuing to investigate. There you see going up the ramp to the concourse. You see one officer with a flashlight kind of looking in the grass for any evidence. You see on that ramp evidence markers being placed down as they work their way back up the ramp to the concourse. Again, this is the West Concourse near the front of Ladd-Peebles Stadium. And just from me looking around, it looks like a lot of the Viger High School football team. Williamson boarded on the other side of the stadium. When I walked out of the stadium, I was here covering the game. When I walked out, I did see Williamson. Originally, they and Viger went on Williamson's sideline, laid down, took cover until they heard word from MPD and their coaches that it was safe to move out. Around the time I walked out, that's when I started seeing Williamson start to head back to their locker room to grab their stuff and leave. We are closer to where Viger's bus is loaded up. We have since seen a bunch of the football team. There goes a couple more. We have since seen a lot of them walk out with their bags, with their gear, get on the bus, meet up with any family members that they had real quick, assure them that they're okay. They have since gotten on the bus. They're waiting for the last few members of the team before they leave. Williamson was doing the same on the other side of the stadium shortly after the game ended. Everybody stayed in place. Both football teams stayed in place for roughly 10 or 15 minutes on the field, and then that's when you started seeing the teams make their way towards the locker room, make their way out once the situation started to calm down a little. And shortly after the football team started to exit, I did see Williamson and Viger's bands, their dance teams, their cheerleaders, they started doing the same. They started walking out towards their respective gates, started grabbing their stuff, and started meeting up with their people and getting on the bus as well. We now see Pritchard police starting to drive outside of the gate after making sure there go a couple more Pritchard police cars. They're starting to drive out of the gate. Of course, they were here. They escorted Viger to the game earlier this afternoon, so they've been here helping out as well. Pritchard PD and MPD helping everyone once the shots were fired here at the game. See more Pritchard police cars driving outside of the gate. They're driving towards the front of the buses. I just heard the ignition for one of the buses, so it looks like Viger's football team, their cheerleaders, their band, it looks like they're about to leave Ladd-Peebles Stadium in the next couple of minutes. Pritchard PD moving to the front to escort them out of the stadium and back to the school. Again, if you're just now joining us, we're here at Ladd-Peebles Stadium. It was the Viger and Williamson game, Viger's homecoming here at Ladd. We were about 5 minutes away from the end of the game. It was late in the fourth quarter. Viger had just taken possession of the ball, and that's when immediately people started rushing out of the stands towards the field. A lot of people did not hear the shots originally. I was on the field. I did not hear the shots ring out, but I immediately turned around, saw a lot of the crowd. I was on Viger sideline. I immediately saw a lot of the crowd start heading towards the field. A lot of people running past saying, "Oh my God, somebody got shot." Coaches immediately running towards the football team saying, "Hey, get over here, start heading over to the other sideline and just get down, cover yourselves, lay down until you hear word that it's safe to move." And they did. They ran over to Williamson's sideline, Viger and Williamson laying down on the ground waiting for word that it was safe to move. Of course, Mobile Police was here for the game. They immediately rushed up to the concourse. They immediately rushed up the steps to the concourse where the shooting happened. A lot of people congregating around a tunnel. Trying to figure out what happened. MPD rushing to the scene. A couple people that ran past me, again, saying somebody just got shot. I need to find my brother. I need to find my son, whoever they were here with. They immediately started looking for them once they got on the field. A lot of people taking off across the stadium, trying to find the nearest gate that they could to get out of the stadium. Both football teams, again, laying down on the field. The bands and the cheerleaders, they were near the stands. The bands were in the stands. The cheerleaders were in front. They took shelter as well, just kind of stayed in place along with the fans who did not immediately rush for a gate. They stayed in place for probably about 10 or 15 minutes and then started moving towards the nearest exit. Again, the situation a lot calmer now. When this originally happened, again, near the end of the game, it was a lot of people rushing out of the stands. The people who did not take shelter, a lot of them rushed the field, went to the nearest exit, immediately jumping in their cars. When I walked out of the stadium, I saw a lot of people running towards their cars, making sure that they had the groups that they came here with. Once they knew they had everybody just jumped in a car and left for the nearest gate. It was homecoming. It was a pretty big crowd out here. The crowd has thinned out a lot since then. We just received some information from MPD regarding this shooting. Multiple injuries have been reported. Those victims have, again, all been transported to the hospital. One person has been transported with a life-threatening injury. Again, since we've been out here, myself and Fox 10 reporter Stephen Moody, we've seen 3 people transported. But again, multiple injuries have been reported. One person has life-threatening injuries. And if you hear those sirens in the background, that is Pritchard Police. They are escorting Viger's football team out of Ladd-Peebles Stadium. So Viger, their football team, cheerleaders, everybody on their way back home now. Again, just from looking around, the scene has calmed down quite a bit since everything happened. Most of the fans have since left. Now it's mostly MPD, investigators, and media out here at this hour. As Mobile police continue to look around, I see more evidence markers being placed on the ramp leading up to the concourse. So this is still very much an active investigation. But again, the football teams, Viger just left, Williamson, they were on the other side. They were getting ready to leave as I walked out of the stadium. And virtually all the fans, I see maybe a couple of cars still out here, but most of the fans have left by now as well. Again, if you're just joining us on this Facebook Live, we're outside Ladd-Peebles Stadium. We're out by the West Concourse around 9:55 near the end of the Viger-Williamson game. Shots were fired here at Ladd-Peebles Stadium. Now, it was a change of possession late in the game. As soon as the play was blown dead, a bunch of people started running down the stands, running onto the field. Excuse me for a second. I apologize for that. Near the end of the Viger-Williamson game, about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It was around 9:55. As soon as the play was blown dead, a lot of people started rushing the stands, trying to get out of the way. Shots were fired on the concourse, on this West Concourse here at Ladd-Peebles Stadium. Fans started rushing the field, started rushing towards the gate, yelling out, someone was shot. I need to find whoever it was they were looking for, a family member, a friend. They were looking for whoever that they came here with or whoever they came here to see. They immediately started running for the gate. The football teams, they were still on the field. Their coaches immediately started waving over at them. Get over to the other sideline, go over there, lay down, take cover, wait until we tell you it's okay to move. They all went to the other side of the field, to Williamson's side of the field, laid face down on the ground for several minutes. Both Viger and Williamson's football team, they sat there for about 10 or 15 minutes waiting to get word that it was okay to move. The bands, they were in the stands. They stayed in place until they were told it was okay to move. The cheerleaders, they took cover as well over on the sidelines. Again, that lasted for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then about the same time I started walking out of the stadium, they started getting up off the field, grabbing their stuff, walking towards their respective sidelines, their respective locker rooms in order to get on the buses and leave the stadium. That same time, again, a lot of the crowd had rushed the field, made it to the nearest gate to try and get back to their cars and leave. Those who had stayed in place in the stands kind of sat around, wondering what was happening, asking questions. MPD rushing through one of the tunnels to the concourse to see who was injured, if there was anything they could do to help, calling EMS in. EMS was here within moments. About 4 ambulances showed up. We've since learned that multiple injuries have been reported. They have all been transported to a local hospital. One person has been transported with a life-threatening injury. But again, EMS got here quickly. They immediately started taking stretchers up the ramp, helping those people. Saw a couple of them talking to the people on the stretchers, just walking them through it. They seem, the ones that myself and Fox 10 reporter Stephen Moody saw, they seemed to be okay. They were again loaded into an ambulance and taken to a hospital very quickly, while more Mobile police officers, while more detectives arrived on scene, started helping people get back to their cars and going up the concourse and start placing down those evidence markers that you saw earlier. They've been walking up and down. One of them has a camera. They've been walking up and down, placing evidence markers, kind of looking in the grass in front of the ramp for any shell casings, any evidence, just walking back and forth, making sure they don't miss anything. Around that same time, when the shots were fired, I was walking out of the stadium. A lot of security in place around Ladd. They were extremely helpful. They were telling people, hey, come this way, use this gate. Make sure you're here with everybody that you came here with. Make sure you found everybody in your group. Make sure you made contact with them. Once you get everybody in your group together, make sure you go straight to your car. It is not safe right now. Go straight to your car, leave the stadium. And a lot of them did. Within moments, parking lots started to empty. It was homecoming for Viger, so a lot of people were here at this game, but the crowd thinned out very quickly. A couple people hung around just making sure that their loved ones were okay. We're making sure that they located everybody that they were here to see or that they were here with. Once those parties were reunited, they immediately got in a car and left the stadium. Now we're down to police and media here right now. Just moments ago, Pritchard PD escorted Viger's football team, their band, their cheerleaders out of the stadium. They are on their way home. When I walked out of the stadium probably about 15, 20 minutes after this first happened, Williamson, they were walking out the other side of the stadium to grab their stuff, get on the buses as well.